I'm Josh.
I'm Hannah.
I'm Miranda.
Welcome to Vow Talk.
Before we get into today's episode, we just want to let you know that things might start looking a little different around here, as it's really hard to get 3 wedding vendors in the same place at once. Off season, it's doable, but summertime is just really hard. So we've come up with the idea where us 3 are going to be your main hosts, and then we will be bringing other people onto the podcast. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that we won't ever be on episodes with us 3 together, but we just want to make sure that we're getting more episodes out. So if one can't make it, that's totally cool. We're your main hosts. But yeah, we look forward to bringing you future episodes. So on today's episode, we want to cover that we've noticed that a lot of vendors have been kind of getting out of the industry, that, they're kind of romanticizing this whole, like, if I'm not full time, then maybe I'm not good enough to be in the wedding industry. What do you guys feel about that?
No, I totally think that's a thing. I think for me being full time had nothing to do with like if I was good enough or not. It was like the time that like I couldn't like work a 9 to 5 and work the wedding business at the same time. So I've been full time it'll be 3 years in June. And I feel like there was times when I was full time that I like shouldn't have been because the money was not coming in the way it needed to be. So I was like running up the credit cards. But I think full time, like I think it means something different to everyone, and
That's true.
it looks different for everyone. And
yeah,
I feel like it can put a lot of pressure too on like, oh, I need to raise my prices to be able to like afford to live, and like just puts more pressure on it.
I think that the biggest kind of like thing when it comes to the wedding industry or the event industry as a whole, because I'm in the events world too. Like I don't just do weddings. Is like what you need to charge.
What?
My little
just push them
friend.
off, buddy.
Bye. What you need to charge and what you should be charging. And like with Hannah, content creation is newer here.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I first started that, I've never had a content creator.
Yeah.
Until like years down the line. However, it's not new in other places though. So for you, you're probably like, what do I charge? And then I think in the beginning, we all like charge an amount and we're thinking like, okay, if you were to take that full amount and put it in your bank account, like that's how you think of it.
Right.
But it's not it. Like you have taxes and when you have to pay people, and then once you have like your normal business expenses. So I think that there's a lot that you don't think about when you're like setting your prices. And I'm very big on like charging what you're worth and like being mindful of the market that we're in. But I mean, no one's doing like, I don't think anyone joins the wedding industry full time for fun.
Right.
Yeah.
I think when I was trying to figure out pricing too, because I was doing social media like content full time, all my packages for my businesses were monthly.
Yeah.
So like that was what I was making from each business per month. But then it was like to think about what I was charging for a wedding. And I was like, this is what I'm making in a day. I'm like, that's just too much. Like, but then it's like, no, it's all like the communication beforehand. Is the day of, but then it's all the editing and sorting afterwards and like all of that. Like it's not just the day of.
Honestly, storing. Oh my gosh, the cost of storage has shot up so much because of like, AI and data centers and stuff. But it's like a hard drive I could have got last year for $200. It's like,
oh shit.
Double. Sorry, my cats are out. They're all over the place.
The cats,
this is Naomi.
the animals are around.
She'll
Anyone
go
that
away.
knows me is probably dying right now.
Go.
Jump
Hey,
down.
let's go.
I don't like being mean. Go down, baby. Push him, Miranda. That literally scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, what was I talking about? Yeah, like the cost of storage, like it's like double, triple the price that it was. So there's like all these expenses. There's all these expenses that you don't, normally think about when it's like, I think starting a business is almost more of like an emotional thing than it is like a logical kind of thing.
Right.
Well, I think it takes a little bit too to kind of, like you said, the communication, like you've probably noticed from when you started to now, the communication has increased significantly since I started too. the communication with the clients, the communication with the vendors, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but I think there's such thing as over communicating on certain things, and there's only so much time in the day. So if you have, you probably have more events coming up than Josh or I. Like, so I have 5 weddings in August in this month. So like I have to make sure that everything's communicated for those, but then I have my September and I have my October weddings as well. And I've asked Josh a couple times, like, so how long does it take for you to call, edit, everything? And he's was like, I'll get back to you. And then for me, like when I onboard a client for, let's say full planning or wedding weekend where we're planning multiple events, there's more time that goes into those because there's more variables and there's more parts. And for planning, like it's like, 300 to 400 hours per wedding. Like I think it's way more. And that's okay. Like I'm very much on like as much time as it takes to plan effectively and, set yourself up for a successful day. Like I'm all for.
Right.
I think that's a lot of, but that's not what people are thinking about when they're looking at their pricing.
Yeah.
So now I feel like I'm pricing at a rate that is appropriate for the amount of work that goes into it.
Yeah. And I think like one thing that can't be ignored, right, is like a lot of times people, like I'll be in a photography group and it's like, I'm in my second year of photography and I'm so excited to announce that I'm going full time. It's like, I'm sorry, but you can't compare yourself to that person because a lot of people that I know, especially photographers that I know that are like full time, it's men and women, they have a partner that has a steady job, steady income. So the times where you're not making money or like in the off season, they're able to help out at that time, not everybody has that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I never had that when I started MQ. Legally or illegally 5 years ago, I remember being like, oh my gosh, like blah, blah, blah. And I never had like a partner that like contributed financially. So that was like, I always from the beginning needed to be very profitable. And I don't like take back the way that I started the business and my pricing being higher or, one of the higher ones, because I knew, like, I just knew I needed to make, because I think it's also confusing too, is like maybe someone doesn't need to charge as much because they do have that partner. I think that's very confusing. Yeah. I think that's very confusing too. Like, I'll just throw out a figure. Day of coordination, for example. That's a common. Everyone knows what that is. You have it ranging from $500 to $5,000. That's a crazy range. Like, it's a crazy range. And like off the top of my head, I could rattle off like a lot of things, but as a consumer, I would be like, and you know what? The $500 person could be lovely and experienced and is doing it for quote unquote fun.
That's what I was just gonna say, like hobby pricing.
Like
versus
hobby pricing, yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Job.
And 5,000. So like for me, I do have day ofs in the 5,000 ranging, depending on your location, how many people I have to have on site with me, and all the variables that go into it if the vendor team is larger. So I think also you would never want to charge a rate where you end up, shooting in the dark and you're like essentially losing money on the event, and the quality is like, that's just, I feel like there's a lot of gray areas in that.
Well, there's like, just with content, I feel like in specific, because I see a lot of content creators like literally posting pricing sheets like on their Instagrams. And then it's like, you just see like there's just a wide range of like, I'm charging $50 a day to I'm charging thousands of dollars a day.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're like trying to offer the most with the least amount of money. And like, just, it's not realistic for a lot of people. And it's like almost like a race to see like who can charge the least and offer the most.
I actually saw a post one time. It was a bride who had just recently gotten married, and just because she got married, she decided that she wanted to give content creation a try, and was like trying to find brides that would like let her like shoot,
Yeah.
video.
Yeah.
for her.
And I think there's a way to get into the industry
Oh,
too.
yes.
Mhm.
I think like my first 2 weddings I did for free, and I worked with Taylor,
Mhm.
and I did it in a way that like I wasn't like trying to offer like the cheapest amount of thing, but I was
Yeah.
like, I'm getting my foot in the door and I'm offering it for free. But then at a certain point, I have to start charging. Obviously, I started charged when I was first starting out, I charged less, but like I
Mhm.
still wasn't charging $50.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Those are tough. I say that the best way to get in the industry is to get in with a planner, because then there's like always already a trust built with them and their
Yeah.
clients, and then sort of bring you in. I think it's a little bit more of like a warm lead. But when I made that mistake in the beginning for some of the packages, I think when I started charging higher for like the full service, I started adding more things in that were maybe like a little unrealistic. And
Mhm.
I think right now, like the biggest challenges is like the deliverables are becoming hard, because it's the vendors are harder to manage right now, because everyone is kind of, the wedding industry isn't like cohesive,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and it's not consistent in the way of like some people want to talk directly to the client, some will work with the planners, some want the timeline a month before, some want it 3 months before.
Mhm.
So it's very hard right now to like manage everyone. So that's definitely something that I've been struggling with.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have a question for the both of you. So, like, obviously, like when someone starts, they're not going to have the highest pricing, right?
Mhm.
But I feel like this is kind of where I feel like I'm at, right? So, like, I'm nowhere near the cheapest, but I'm definitely not the most expensive photographer. I'm kind of happy with the amount of money that I'm making per wedding,
Mm-hmm.
but also I'm happy with the clients that I'm getting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy with the locations that I'm shooting.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
where do you both kind of think like that falls on like, well, do I stay where I'm at, or just because I can, I need to keep increasing my prices?
Right.
I think that as a planner, I'm very big on customizing. So like,
yeah.
you and I have talked, me and Josh have talked about his pricing and stuff. And, you know, if you have like an 8-hour package, okay, well, what does a 10-hour package look like? Or what does a 12-hour package look like? Okay. And a second shooter, if there's a welcome, like, I think that you could absolutely increase the pricing when the work and the scope is, you know, asking for more than what
Mhm.
your typical offering is.
Mhm.
And I think that customizing is the best way for the couple to get what they want and the vendor to feel like they're properly compensated.
Yeah.
Because if you get on a call with a couple and it's an 8-hour package and they're like, wait, there's 3 locations,
Mhm.
and I also want you to stay for the after party and all that,
Right.
then
Yeah.
you're like, that's not what you, that's
Doesn't
not
fall in the scope of the
that
package.
doesn't fall in
Yeah.
the
Right.
scope of the package. And then things also start to get like a little confusing. So it's like, so you're gonna stay later, but like how later?
Mhm.
Or like you're gonna do this, but you know, I think it starts to get confusing. And I also think that if someone comes to you and maybe they're not working with a planner and their budget, they allocated $10,000 for photography, and you are like, you know, your package isn't 10,000, you can kind of say, so when you priced this out at 10,000, what were your, you know, what are you looking for in a photographer?
Yeah.
And maybe you can meet that.
Mhm.
Right.
And if you're comfortable, like, okay, so typically I don't charge that, but you are asking for a lot more than my typical weddings are,
Mhm.
and like do it like more position it that way.
Yeah.
Because I think too, like I always go back to a lot of it is like the clients don't know what things cost. Like that's what I'm there to help them and guide them.
Mhm.
And then sometimes it just takes like a little bit of explaining in a conversation, which I'm always happy to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of my clients too, like on our wedding calls recently, have been like adding on hours because they're like, yeah, I only need content for like 5. And then like once we actually go over the timeline, they're like, wait, but I want you to capture this and this and this and this. So it's like, I'm always fine with adding on hours, but I think they just don't realize like when they're initially booking, like
Yeah.
that it's weddings are spaced out.
Obviously, you've been crushing it, right? So you're getting like a ton of weddings. So my question kind of, because, what is this, your second year, right, of business? Like,
I
doing
did
weddings?
in 2024 too. a
Okay,
little
all
bit,
right.
But
So-
yeah, so
because you're probably like at that point where like I was kind of talking about where like do I raise my prices? Because you're getting beautiful weddings. Like
Mhm.
you
Yeah,
see your stuff
really.
online. Like it's not like you're getting like cheap weddings or anything like
Yeah.
that. You're getting really great stuff, and you're working with really great vendors. So it's like, where are you kind of finding yourself as far as like your pricing right now? Like you're just like
Yeah.
happy, or you think you're like, oh, maybe I'll go a little higher.
Yeah. I feel like, I don't know if it's like an unspoken rule, but I feel like people do kind of like up their prices like every year.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we do.
almost. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
But then I, like you said, like I notice if I'm getting like a ton of inquiries and like a ton of weddings, maybe I could be upping it a little bit more and taking on less because
Oh,
Mhm.
totally.
I'm taking on so many. Like I still have
Yeah.
40 plus for the end, starting now for the end of
Mhm.
the year. And I'm still taking on more, and I'm doing like associates shooting for me too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Like I still just want to be able to offer my services to people that want it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But
I think upping the pricing, like, so now for me, I've done the 30, 40 a year, and I read it like a lot of, like, I listen to a lot of other podcasts, wedding related, and, luxury planner, like, into the 8 figures or 7-figure weddings was saying that, we really shouldn't take more than 25 projects a year. And
Right.
that after a while, like, your services will compromise.
Right.
And I think
Mhm.
it's hard to realize because you're like, I love my job and I'm doing so well.
yeah.
And like the fact that you still have 40 left, like I think I have like 14 left. And
But I
I'm
like-
even
It's a
like
lot.
kicking the bucket a little bit. I'm like, whoo! Like I still have a lot to go. So I think that, and you could also
Yeah.
like, I know you and I have said like or we've talked before, like said you have like a camcorder, like you could also like offer less, but like add more to
That's
the
what I was just gonna
packages
say.
Mhm.
and like deliver more of like a
Like
also
fuller
custom,
experience,
like
yeah.
deliver like a different experience.
Yeah.
And that's like where you would be. And then if people do still want like associate stuff, then you can do that. But then
Right.
I think after a while, you do have to focus in on like a bread and butter.
Yeah.
Like for me, like I like full service. Like I offer a lot of different things. Like I like the wedding weekend packages. I think
Mhm.
that's where I
Mhm.
thrive the best
Yeah.
because I like to be a part of everything. Because when you're not, for a planner, you're still getting roped into those details. So you
Mhm.
might as well be a part of it anyways.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like you still like even if I'm not doing their welcome and rehearsal dinner, like I still ask about it because I'm like, it could alter the wedding day. Like, is it close? Is it far? Or, like there's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah.
So I feel like that'd be good for you as the content. Like, and then there's also like now there's like all the like different cameras, like without like creeping
Right,
into the
right.
photographer's
Mhm.
bubble.
Yeah.
Like there's like
There's also like different lenses you
there's
can
like
put
so
on
many
iPhones
different things that you
and-
can put on the
Yeah.
iPhone. And like I'm noticing now, like I love like when the photographers have like the Polaroids or like have like the
Yeah.
things they send. Like
Mhm.
you could also like work on something like, remember back in the day, like when you would like plug in the SIM card to like a frame and put it in your living room.
Yeah.
Like you could also like invest maybe in some things that you could like send the couple
Yeah.
after
Yeah.
that like just bring more quality to the package.
Right. I think when I also like tell clients my packages and say like what's included, it means more, and like it like almost justifies the price more when they're like, oh, I'm getting this. Like
Mhm.
I do offer like full length videos of certain moments of the day
Yeah.
when they don't have a videographer. So like they're getting like full length ceremony, full length speeches with like
Mhm.
an additional phone. And not a lot of content creators do that. And when you get a price, but then when they're like, oh, I don't have to pay extra for a whole bunch of things, it like
Mhm.
they like it better.
Yeah. And sometimes too, like, harping kind of like on, people being upset that they're not full time, or, people getting out of the industry. If you don't even know what your cost of business is, like you have nothing to complain about. You want to figure out like those little things. It's like, even at the start of this wedding season, I raised my prices. Reason being, I'm shooting more film. Film's getting more expensive.
Right.
So it's not like I increased my prices a lot, so that way now it's just like falling completely on the client.
Right.
It's just more so to cover the costs of the increase of film and development and scanning and all that.
And I think that's why people do yearly, because like just the price of living goes up every year too.
Mhm.
So it's like this is how we live.
Yeah.
And like you said, like a past bride, like wanting to do it. It's like they don't have any experience. Like, yes, they might just have an iPhone in their pocket, but like then somebody like me who has 5 years of experience
Mhm.
shooting like different restaurants and different businesses.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like also just having my own business is like a different sense of like professionalism as like somebody that had a wedding and they're like, oh, I wanted to start doing this
Yeah.
because I have a phone.
Before I started MQ, I had so much experience in hospitalities and venues and just all sorts of things anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that like you can't like it is a very saturated market, but I always like I worked backwards. Like I was like, I want to be a full service planner, event production, and like that's what I am now. Like that's what I do. So I feel like you have to just like know the goal
Right.
and then work backwards.
Yeah. And I
Mhm.
think when I'm consuming so much content, like, because I follow so many content creators, because I do like supporting them and stuff like that.
Yep.
And like, I think when I'm just scrolling and constantly seeing everything and I'm like, oh, that was a really like good edit, or that was a really good wedding, or like blah, 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 then I'm like, it almost loses my creativity in a way.
Mhm.
So I think like when I stop consuming as much, I'm able to
Yeah.
just like take the wedding that I did and like be creative on my own.
Mm-hmm. Especially, well, the photography market is like so saturated. There's a ton of us, right? But I'm almost not on social media as much anymore to look at photography.
Right.
Because everything's just starting to look the same, or
Yeah.
you start comparing yourself to other photographers and start questioning the things that you're doing. So I've been trying to absorb like different mediums in regards to like how I'm going to, get my inspiration for the style of photography that I want to get. So I've been looking a lot more into like movies. I've been watching
Yeah.
a ton of documentaries on street photographers and from like the early days of film throughout, the 70s and 80s.
Mhm.
And I've been seeing like a lot of cool looks in, I was like, I'm getting more into film, and that's all they had back then. I've been kind of using that as a way to give myself a goal, or as like, I want to increase or get better at photography. I'm not
Instead
going to
of,
look
like-
at the same
Yeah.
same 10 photographers that are in my city and keep trying to copy the same thing. I want to try to be, somewhat different.
I think it's hard to like with content because it's like we are kind of supposed to get like the behind the scenes and like, but I do like speak up for like certain shots and like I do have like creative ideas and stuff. And like I
Mhm.
feel like I've posted like some things and like I've had photographers up it and be like, oh my God, like this is such a cool idea. Like, did the photographer come up with this? I was like, no, like I did, like I could
That's
come up
funny.
with an
Wait,
idea.
the one with the
too.
bride that stood up?
Oh my god.
I did that. I did that before too.
She's so cute.
Yeah, but then like I did like one with like an umbrella, but I put like the veil over the umbrella or something, and like
Mhm.
just different things like that. And like I think it's not maybe normal for like content creators to like
Yeah.
come up with different shots, but then also the photographer does take photos of it if they like it.
Mhm.
So I don't know.
I feel like I always give people a chance. Like even if I had like my second shooters with me,
Mhm.
say you stepped away for like golden hour doing some portraits real quick. A lot of times I'll tell my second, like, hey, you got some shots you want to get? You want to go for it? Just do it. And,
Oh, yeah.
and I'll act as the second. I'll shoot around them, try to get different
Right.
angles while
Yeah.
they're doing their posing.
Yeah.
But I think even when we shot, it's like, I like to ask other people, like, oh, what do
Yeah.
you think? Oh, what should we try this? Like, oh,
Yeah.
you think this area is better than that area?
Like obviously I let you guys get your shot like first and foremost, but then I think everybody can just benefit off
Mm-hmm.
different creativity.
I agree. And that is a wrap on today's episode. I am Josh Reyes. You can find me at joshreyesphotography.com and on Instagram at Josh Reyes Photo. Hannah, where can they find you?
You can find me at Behind Your Wedding Day on Instagram and TikTok.
You can find me at MQ_events_. I still don't know my handle. Find me.
Bye.
Bye.